Welcome to Solar. In this tutorial, we will do something more advanced. We will use color correction and blur operator to bring together video footage and an animated sequence and make them as seamless as possible. We have our imported interview footage and 3 high-resolution 3D animation sequences in OpenEXR format. The sequences contain 3D animated elements, animation reflection, and background details. We found out beforehand that files will need some color correction. The artist that created the animation told us about needed adjustments to match the animation with the footage. Some of them will also need to be slightly blurred to match up video quality of all elements. We will apply the color grade operator to all 3 EXR sequences. Thanks to multiflow, we can use a single operator to adjust the sequences as needed. Let's apply the blur operator, connect all color grade outputs through it. Once again, multiflow in action. Let's use layer operators to connect all 3D animation elements into a single new element. We can still adjust or correct them separately as needed, but at a certain point, having them as a single layer will become useful. We can barely see a dark shape on the bottom part of the preview panel. Let's adjust the gamma value to the value suggested by the animator. Our animated Gingerbread Man appears. Let's create another layer connecting our interview footage with the 3D animation layer. All our elements are now brought together. We will play around with color grade on our Gingerbread Man. We will adjust colors to match the interview footage the best we can. Let's click through to inspect our layers. Clicking on an operator in the middle or a multiflow operator on highlighted area changes preview to reflect that operator. Let's zoom in onto our Gingerbread Man. We want to match the quality of the animation to the background. We will adjust the blurring of the 3D object to match the background. Click Fit to view the whole sequence in preview. Double-click on the preview area to make it full screen. Fit the sequence to the screen. Hit play. Here is our animated Gingerbread Man cleaning the table during an interview. Let's go back to our project. The broadcast operator. Broadcast is a very handy disk player. We can use it to mark a point in the project tree to generate a project preview generated from local disk. Let's ask Solar to render our footage using broadcast. You can use render function to output material from other sources. We can set the render range as a project or a sub-project in Solar Timeline. Let's click Render. Double-click the render window to zoom it out to full screen. Depending on your input sequence resolution, the storage source and available system memory rendering time will vary. Let's go back to our project. Click Broadcast under Preview to change view from real-time operations to rendered broadcast sequence. Double-click on the preview area to make it full screen. Click 100% to fit the footage to the screen. Hit play. Here comes Mr. Gingerbread Man. Let's find our project tree. We will now develop and fine-tune our Gingerbread Man project a little more. This can be useful on more demanding high-end projects. Let's go to a frame where we can see more of the Gingerbread Man and his reflection. Frame 250. Looking through our project components. Let's find the reflection part that we need. Zoom it in a little. We can see a shadow that we do not like. It might be a small detail, but small details can be very important on large-scale productions. Solar enables you to work on the smallest details of your projects. We will connect another blur node to the reflection to blur a little more. all the 3D elements are connected via layers, but if you need to make the minute adjustments, it's easy using Solar. Let's connect the ramp element to our new blur node. We will use ramp as a mask. Sometimes we need a minute to put all the nodes in the right place on the bigger projects. Using ramp's gizmo, we will set the image to be less blurred on the bottom and more blurred on the top. Let's fine-tune blur parameters. Adjusting the smallest detail can take time, but is well worth it in the end. Here you can see the reflection more blurry on the top and less so on the bottom. Using ramp and blur, we simulated an optical depth of field. Let's look at our Gingerbread Man. Everything seems fine. However, in a well-executed project, every detail needs to be perfect. We want to darken the Gingerbread Man reflection to match the surroundings. We will use the brightness operator. Adjust the brightness settings as needed. Let's see how it all looks overlaid on the table. We can see our project is progressing nicely. We notice a little bit of glow on the objects in the room. We would like to apply similar glow onto the Gingerbread Man. We do not want to overlay it onto sequence as a whole. It would be a shortcut with dubious results, as the sequence has its own glow already. Let's add a glow operator to our 3D animation layer. We will connect it as a mask only to the area that the Gingerbread Man is in. In that case, we really do not have a place to take brightness information from. Gingerbread Man's surroundings are just black. We would like him to interact with the surroundings without interfering with them. We need to connect the glow after connecting the Gingerbread Man with the main image, still using the mask. However, that will restrict glow area to the Gingerbread Man. Fine-tune glow settings. We continue making the Gingerbread Man almost perfect. All the adjustments help to match original footage. Using Byte, we get closer to the original 8-bit image. You can see the glow highlights on the Gingerbread Man. Once again, using the connection we discussed earlier, Gingerbread Man interacts with the surroundings without changing them to best match the glow levels in the image. Possibilities for the most demanding productions requiring full attention to smallest details are endless. Solar can help you make it all happen. We got a request at the end of the sequence for Gingerbread Man to lose camera focus as he leaves the screen. Earlier, for the background material and small corrections, we used blur operator. In this case, we will use the defocus filter, simulating true lack of focus in an optical lens. Let's go to the footage frame where Gingerbread Man should be in focus, and to the frame where he should be completely out of focus. We set the settings in time keying the parameters. Solar will automatically interpolate the transition between the first chosen frame and the last out of focus frame. We try to choose the best parameters to make the Gingerbread Man look natural and to make the defocus visible. The black frame that appeared around our footage is the result of our work. The background color surrounding format was defined as default black. We can make it transparent using background color node. We would like to make sure our footage has a unified look. After all the adjustments using color grade, we will match color to our satisfaction. We will use a second color grade to correct certain image areas differently. We do not like the burned out area on the top of the image. Those burnouts are very characteristic in regular HD cameras and their sensitivity in difficult light situations. We used a simple camera and a natural setting on purpose to have a footage example that is less than perfect. Most productions don't have the luxury and time to prepare a perfect set to minimize post-production work. We added a radial mask that will affect the top and bottom image areas a bit differently. Using radial gizmo, we place it for desired effect, and the result is the slight gradient shown on the burned out area. Slight final corrections with color grade for that perfect result. Let's render our finished project using broadcast one more time. Here it is, Gingerbread Man interfering with our interview. Thank you for watching. Please visit lightstream24.com for more demonstrations and tutorials.